Good morning, Michael Garcia here with the Hispanic Vote. We're going to continue our series of interviews with elected officials, community leaders, and local government officials as well. Today we have Harold Pryor. We want to thank Harold for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to be interviewing several of the candidates for the state attorney race. So Harold's one of the candidates, and we want to make sure that the public or the county and the citizens here that are voting get to know the candidates. So we have Harold, and we're going to interview a few other people. But we're going to start with Harold, and we're going to start with a little background information and then get into some interviews. So Harold, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
So Harold, please tell us a little bit about yourself. So I want the people to know who Harold Pryor is. So I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Are you married, Harold?
Yes, I am. Thanks for starting out with that. I am happily married, and we went to law school with each other. Happily married to real estate attorney Nikisha Pryor. We've been married for 6 years now. We have a beautiful 2-year-old son.
Okay.
We met in law school, actually doing a trial competition with the Black Law Students Association and the Nova Trial Association.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Harold, are you originally from Florida?
Yes, I am. I'm originally from Florida.
What part of Florida?
I grew up in the Tampa Bay area.
Okay.
I'm actually a 5th generation Floridian from my father's side.
Okay.
So we born and raised here, born and bred here, and went to law school here in Nova Southeastern University here at Fort Lauderdale. Before that, I went to the University of Florida, where I was given the opportunity to play football.
Okay.
And worked my way down here at Nova Southeastern University, and met my beautiful wife, and I stayed down here ever since.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about your background, your family background. You said you're 5th generation on your father's side, correct?
Yes, correct.
So tell us a little bit more about your background.
Yes, so in my background, it's a mixture of everything. We're a diverse family.
Okay.
Diverse family of African American and Hispanic Americans.
Okay.
We have strong roots here in South Florida, in the
Okay.
South Florida community. And, I grew up in a family that was really involved with migrant workers in Central Florida. There was a huge Mexican population that moved down here in South Florida. Both of my grandparents were really involved in the Black Civil Rights Movement and the migrant worker Civil Rights Movement.
Okay.
My grandmother as well. And so that's my heritage, that's my background, both diverse in dealing with issues particular to our Hispanic communities, but also issues in particular with the African American communities, not only in the Florida region, but also throughout the South.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? Obviously, you just mentioned you went to Nova and you went to UF. Your experience as a professional once you became an attorney.
Yeah, so I actually served as a prosecutor for 3 years in the office of the state attorney here in Pryor County. I tried a wide range of cases, from misdemeanor offenses all the way to attempted murders.
Okay.
I left the office as a first-degree prosecutor. I then went into civil practice, where I practiced insurance defense. And then from there, I served as an in-house counsel for a multi-million-dollar telecommunications company.
So that's the company you currently work for, is that correct?
Yes, so Hotwire Communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do there? A little bit of, can you tell us a little?
So I served as an in-house counsel for Hotwire Communications. It's a telecommunications company that offers internet, television, video, and security services across the board. And so we offered a high-end fiber optics cable television services throughout South Florida and throughout the whole United States.
Okay, so we know a little bit now about you. You're currently running for the state attorney race, is that correct?
That is correct.
And can you tell us a little bit of why you're running in that race?
Growing up, as I stated earlier, I grew up actually in a rough neighborhood. And growing up, I believed that the criminal justice system didn't work for people that looked like me or came from my background. I've experienced the criminal justice system from vantage points of having family members who were brutally murdered, and we watched those killers go free, but also from the vantage point of having family members who had mental health issues, who had drug addiction issues, and we saw, rather than them get the help that they need, they were actually demonized and criminalized and placed into the criminal justice system. And so that was the main reason why I got into the criminal justice system as a state attorney, because I felt that it was best to fix the system from within.
Okay.
And so once serving as a prosecutor, I served, and I saw this opportunity that we have an incumbent in office who's been in for 44 years, and he decided not to run again. I felt it was the best opportunity to put my hat in the race and offer change in the criminal justice system. Like I said, I'm running to institute real ground level criminal justice reform while not compromising the safety of our communities.
Okay. What is one change? What's your major change that you will institute as at the state attorney if you are elected?
It's simple, and you know, and it's not as complicated in the sense that I think we have to truly institute a culture where justice, fairness, and equality reigns true throughout the office. I'll give you a little background or a crash course on the criminal justice system. In the criminal justice system, if you had a high conviction rate, you were seen as an ideal or perfect prosecutor. If you had a low conviction rate, you were seen as a terrible prosecutor. I want to change the metrics in the way that we measure or value our prosecutors in the criminal justice system. I think if you measure it on those metrics, I think you'll see that trickle down or reform trickle down in the mass incarceration of people of color issue, the racial sentencing disparities, and also will reduce the school to prison pipeline. And so I truly believe if you have a philosophical, goal-oriented focus within that office, I think we'll see that change reign true throughout the office and the policies that we have.
What's your position on the state attorney's office right now regarding diversity? Mm-hmm. Do you think there's enough diversity? Do you think there needs more diversity? I want to get your position on that.
There have been recent efforts by the office to increase the diversity of the office, but it could be better. When you look at the number of Broward County, I believe 57% of Broward's population are racial minorities, right? Okay. Black and brown folk. And so we have to have a state attorney's office that's in fact reflective of the community that it serves or the broader Broward County community. How do we do that? We do that by actively pursuing talented and qualified minority state attorneys, both black and Hispanic. But also we can step outside that by recruiting more LGBTQ plus members of the legal community. I think it's important that people see that they have a state attorney's office that's actually reflective of the community.
Okay. Obviously we're going through this pandemic right now and you're campaigning. So I wanted to get a sense from you how your campaign's going, what adjustments you've made, and how Corona has affected your campaign and also your work life. Because I know you're still working. So.
Yeah. So, you know, that's a great question. When you think about this issue of COVID-19, I think it illustrates just how life works and how I would have to manage this office when, in fact, I'm elected as state attorney. And the thing is, you have to adapt no matter what the circumstances are. Okay. And so I had to adapt, and I think many of us had to adapt. So you adapt, you find creative ways to reach out to and engage voters and re-engage voters and keep them interested in this race because it's important to Broward County. I like to always say that this race, we are truly running for the soul and consciousness of Broward County. And so we have to find creative ways to reach out to voters, to engage them, re-engage them, and keep them interested and keep them abreast to the important issues. So we've had to really focus on social media. We've had to focus on reaching out in other creative ways to potential voters in Broward County.
Please tell us a little bit about your website, right? Because I believe you're still fundraising, right?
Yes, we are.
So please tell people where they can, get more information on you and your campaign, because I know this interview is going to be about 20 minutes, but I think people need to see more of your platform, and we encourage everyone to go to all the candidates' websites to see their platform and really get educated so they can make an educated decision. So please tell them the website.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about me, my platform, about my background and who I am, please visit my website at www.haroldpryor.com. You can also check me out on Twitter at Pryor2020.
Okay, and can people make fund donations on that website as well?
Yes, you can donate it once again at haroldpryor.com. Anything helps. And outreach and also getting the message out, because I truly believe once we get our message out and people understand why I'm running, who I am, and why we're doing this, I truly believe that we'll have a lot of people that are interested in this race and that will vote for us.
Can you tell the viewers a little bit about your community involvement outside of the state attorney and your job at your current position?
Yeah. So I always felt, and always was brought up, I come from a family of blue collar workers, ministers, but they always felt the importance of actually giving back to the community no matter what you're doing. And I always remember my father, who was a blue collar worker. He was also involved in the church, a minister. And I always remember my dad would always find a way in his free time, even with us, to give back to the community. So the first thing I looked for when I came to Broward County was to find some voluntary bar association to get involved with. So I got involved with the TJ Reddick Bar Association. I worked my way up, served as treasurer, president-elect, and then I served as president. And we did a lot of great things for the community, and the association is still doing a lot of great things for the community. As president of TJ Reddick, I was instrumental in having the north wing of the courthouse named after Thomas J. Reddick. We reached out to the Broward County Commission, court administration, and other stakeholders to have that named after him. We've done a lot of good things in the community in trying to help the community, keep them abreast as to new legal developments, and also to work for diversity on the bench, which is important, and it was a near and dear issue for me when I was president.
Well, you know, Harold, we want to thank you for coming out. And now, since you are a prosecutor, I'm going to give you your closing argument.
Right.
So please tell the people why they should vote for you as a state prosecutor, for the state attorney position.
Thank you. For those who are watching, you know, I'm a proud husband, I'm a proud father, I'm a proud attorney, but also I'm a proud father of a 2-year-old son. And I worry every day, how am I going to bring up this beautiful, young, vibrant black boy in this dangerous world? I'm running because I grew up in a dangerous world that looked at people who looked like me as less than. And I want to ensure that we have a criminal justice system that not only works for certain people, but it works for all people. I always say this, it doesn't matter where you grew up. It doesn't matter if you grew up on East Las Olas or A1A or near the beach or Sistrunk or Pompano Beach or Hollandale Beach or wherever you grew up. We all want safer communities. And so I'm running because I want to initiate real ground level criminal justice reform while not compromising the safety of our communities. And I truly believe we can do that by not prosecuting certain low-level offenses, but also vigorously prosecuting those who would attack members of the LGBTQ plus community, and also our elderly and other vulnerable members of our society, and those who would target our children. I truly believe that we can have a system that's equitable, that treats people with mental health issues equitably, treats people with drug addiction issues equitably, and that we can have a criminal justice system that doesn't work for just some people, but it works for all people. And so my name is Harold Pryor. I have the experience as a former in-house counsel where I managed budgets that was twice, sometimes 3 times that of the state attorney's office, but also as a prosecutor who represented the interest of Broward County community, who dealt with low-level misdemeanor offenses all the way to attempted murders, who worked with victims to ensure that justice was sought in every situation, and who worked to be fair and equitable through every stage of the prosecutorial process. I truly believe that the time is now. I truly believe that we should have state attorneys that are reflective of the communities that it serves. I'm truly ready to make history now. So vote for me, Harold Pryor. Let's make history.
Thank you, Harold. One last question. When is the election?
The election is August 18th, 2020. So you can vote by mail or vote in person. So please, if you want to vote by mail, make that request. Go to the Supervisor of Elections website.
Thank you, Harold.
Thank you.